I got a great upper body workout for you guys today, and we're going to be focusing on push movements. And so when I talk about push, we're really talking about three different muscle groups. That's our chest, our shoulders, okay, when we're pushing, and our triceps. So all three muscle groups get involved anytime we're doing kind of a push movement, like a push-up, okay? Now, I got three different exercises here, and they focus on these three different muscle groups, and you've seen me do these before. I'm gonna, of course, show you the correct form once again, but there's a caveat, all right? So we're throwing a little complexity at you guys today with the drop set technique, all right? So that is gonna be one of the things I talk about over and over in the entire week's worth of workouts. So I want you guys to do 3 to 4 sets of each of these exercises, just the traditional 10 to 12 reps, okay? Stop, rest for about a minute, catch your breath, do another set. But on the last set, whether that's your 4th or 5th set, I want you to make it a drop set. So follow along as I show you guys how to do drop sets for these 3 fantastic exercises. The first exercise we're going to do today is the standing dumbbell military press. So real quick, I just want to kind of go through the form, and then I'm going to show you how I like to do it. And typically I like to do double drop sets, and I'm going to explain what that is. So you pick a weight that's heavy enough that it's very difficult to get 10 to 12 reps. I mean, you need to be near failure, okay? At that 10th to 12th rep, you're exhausted, you put the weight down, lower the weight, pick up a lighter weight, and typically it's about 25% lighter than the weight you started with. Knock out about 4 to 6 reps with that weight, and of course that should be near exhaustion, okay, because you're not resting in between. Then you're going to put the weight down, drop it to about 25% lighter weight still, and then knock out another 4 to 6 reps. So that's a double drop set. We drop the weight twice. You can have a single drop set, you can have a triple drop set, okay? You have a quadruple drop set. Guys, I like to focus typically on doubles, because when you take 10 to 12 reps to begin with, and then roughly 5 on the first drop and another 5 for the second drop, you're already up to 20 reps minimum overall, okay? Sometimes as high as 25. And so I think that's a really good range to really get the burn going, that lactic acid buildup. All right, so just follow along. I want to show you how I like to do this. Now standing, okay, military presses add another level of difficulty, okay? So this is a compound movement, all right? We're using multiple muscle groups, multiple joints at the same time, and because we're standing instead of sitting, it really forces us to engage our core. It makes it much more difficult. Matter of fact, you really won't be able to lift nearly as much weight when you're standing versus sitting. So here we go. Now guys, this is how I like to get them up. I literally swing them up to my shoulders. That's fine, that's not cheating, okay? That's only cheating if you're doing curls. Get them up here, all right? Now, slight bend in the knees, okay? All right, so if you're feeling a lot of stress in your lower back, you just kind of bend your knees just a tad, okay? Doesn't take much. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Now look where I'm looking, guys. Notice how I'm looking up. I'm not looking forward, I'm looking up at the ceiling. That's a great way for you to keep your balance, all right? Okay, put them down. I'm gonna lower the weight by roughly 25%. No rest. Get them back up in position. Slight bend in the knees. Knock out about 4 to 6 reps. All right, no rest. I'm gonna drop it another 25%. Now guys, you're not gonna be able to drop it exactly 25%. Sometimes it's 30%, sometimes it's 20, all right? You just gotta deal with the weights that you have available. All right, so, guys, I'm feeling a fantastic burn in my shoulders. That's that lactic acid. Remember, because we're doing these drop sets back to back with no rest, literally, your muscles cannot get rid of, they can't flush that waste product. And the lactic acid is a byproduct, okay, of doing intense exercise with not enough oxygen, you can't get it out of the muscles fast enough. That's what the burn is. You catch your breath, it takes about a minute or two. The blood flow goes to those muscles, pumps that lactic acid, it goes to your liver, and it comes back as glycogen, which is a source of energy. So it's actually a good thing. So guys, fantastic way to get an incredible pump in your shoulders, but don't do this for every set. It's just too much intensity, okay? Just do it for the very last set of this exercise in today's workout. All right, I'm going to show you how to do an exercise that has the longest name I've ever thought of. It's called the seated dumbbell overhead tricep extension. Man, that's hard to remember, right? Basically, we're going to take a single dumbbell. We're going to use both hands. We're going to grab the dumbbell, okay? And I'm going to stick it behind my head. And I just want to show you the form is it's really straightforward. It's just up and down. Now guys, the problem is it's an awkward movement because you're going to have a dumbbell over your head. The dumbbell's going to want to kind of hit the back of your head and your neck, okay? So you need to be kind of loose and warmed up. So you may want to try a super lightweight dumbbell first and just knock out 15 or 20 reps to kind of get things warmed up for you. That's all I'm thinking about. And then it'll kind of give you the mind muscle and the coordination and the balance that goes along with this exercise. So I've picked a pretty heavy weight, remember, because I want you guys to do 3 to 4 sets of this, okay, just the traditional way before we get to this drop set that I'm about to demonstrate. So on the 4th or 5th set, whichever it is for you guys, I want you to do a double drop set, all right? So you got to pick a pretty heavy weight, something you can only knock out 10 to 12 reps max. Then we're going to drop the weight about 20 to 30%, knock out another 4 to 6 reps, drop the weight another 20 to 30%, and finish up with another 4 to 6 reps. That's, guys, what gets that lactic acid and that burn going. So, getting it into position, I like to put it up on my shoulder like this, all right? Grab the dumbbell with 2 hands. All right, now here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. All right, goes back to your shoulder because you're really fatigued. Then it goes to your thigh. Then it comes straight over here. I'm gonna drop the weight. I knocked about 20% off there. Back up into position with no rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shoulder, thigh. Drop the weight. Another 25% or so. Very little rest. What does that take me? About 6 or 7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh man, burn. It's burning, it hurts. Whew. So guys, when you're doing a regular set of these, you know, just knock out 10 reps or so, you're not gonna be burning so much. And when you're doing these drop sets, you're gonna get really fatigued. Matter of fact, that's why I wanted to show you how to take the weight down, because you're so weak and it's starting to hurt so much. The trick is, you come straight to your shoulder. As soon as that is sitting on your shoulder, you've taken all the weight off of those triceps and you're immediately in a safe position. And then you can go from your shoulder to your thigh real easily. Very little effort. All right, so that's the trick I want you guys to take away from this particular exercise. It'll keep you from dropping that weight, okay, when you're absolutely exhausted. Chest flies is one of my favorite exercises. And we can do it with dumbbells or we can do it with bands. Now guys, even if we do it with bands, we have several options, okay? So I can put the anchor up at the top of the door, up high, or I can put it about chest height on the side, or I can put it at the very bottom, okay? So it really depends on what you want to do. So when it's up high, we're gonna have to lean forward, okay? Because it's gonna be pushing us or pulling us backwards. And when we do these flies, it's going to be focusing more on the lower part of our chest. Now, it will work all the chest muscles, but it'll add emphasis to the lower part of your pecs. So guys, I'm going to show you how to do a drop set. Now, you're going to have to experiment and figure out how many bands and what colors you need for the very first set, because I want you to pick a resistance with these bands. It's difficult to do 10 to 12 reps, okay? So if you just put 1 or 2 little skinny bands on here and you get to 10 or 12, it's not going to be enough. You need to be really fatigued, okay? Because this is a big muscle group. That's why you need to use more bands. You're just going to have to experiment. I recommend that you just write down the colors that you use for this particular exercise. Then you'll have it. Next week, next month, next year, you'll know roughly what you need to start with, guys. You won't have to begin from scratch. So, let me show you how to do the form here. Okay, now remember, you want these bands centered on the anchor and the strap up there. You don't want one side longer than the other. Now I like to put a foot on the door, okay? And then I'm gonna have to really lean forward, okay? Because there's a lot of resistance. I'm using almost every band here. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, I'm going to take one band off, but I got to do it on each side. Remember, same color, both sides, guys. Don't screw yourself up and get lopsided here. So I just took the red band off, going back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, one more band for the second drop. All right, I'm going to take off the blue band this time. Both sides. This takes a little longer in between sets. I don't want you resting, but that's only about 10 to 12 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, now, a couple things I want to talk about real quick here. Especially with bands, okay, and especially working out at home. A lot of times you're not going to be able to have the correct weight to totally fatigue you at 10 reps and then drop a color, one band, and then totally fatigue you at 5 or 6 reps again, all right? So what you need to do is, if the resistance is just too easy to really kill it, and wear you out by the 5th rep, what you need to do is go real slow, and then at the bottom of the movement, I really want you to squeeze and hold it. Squeeze your hands together as hard as you can, hold it for 2 or 3 seconds, and then let the handles go back slowly. So what we're doing there is we're artificially making the resistance tougher, okay? Because we're going real slow, which means more time under tension. And at the bottom of the movement, we're squeezing our handles together, or our hands, as hard as we can. That's an isometric move is what we're doing. So we're really contracting our chest muscles. That way, guys, if you can't pick the correct resistance with bands, because we do have limitations here, you can make them feel heavier, and you can fatigue yourself intentionally by the 5th or 6th rep. So that is a really good trick to making bands work on drop sets. All right, guys, only 3 different exercises today, but because we were implementing a more sophisticated technique, drop sets, we really cranked up the difficulty and, of course, the results. And one of the neat things about doing drop sets is it really scrunches your workout together, right? You don't have to spend an hour and a half working out, because we finish up each exercise with a really tough drop set that really gets that lactic acid going. You don't have to spend as much time working out. It's a real creative way to cram a ton of workout into a very short period.